I can see you. Good evening. Well,
Uh,
thank you for joining.
yeah, good evening. And good to
Thank you.
be in this meeting. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get started. Good
All
evening,
right.
everyone. Welcome to today's podcast episode. We'll be discussing whether or not everybody is meant for the tech field. Okay, but I'll not be discussing this alone. My name is Ijoma Obochi, and I'm joined with Samson Owolabi. Please let's meet you. What do you do? Who are you? Please introduce yourself.
All right, fine. So I think I'm just gonna quote that. I'm gonna say a lot, right? So I think just the way you already put me as the technical and non-technical recruiter. I think that's just enough. And what do I do? I bridge the gap between what was it called? Workforce, what the current company of nowadays, not just nowadays, or what companies what they need, and then what people are looking for basically. So it's just like a bridge. I mean, just like a layman's definition. You get what does the company need? They need people, and then what do people need? They need jobs. So there is a gap between that I bridge basically. That is what I do. And then I do that both locally and globally, right? I am not just somebody who is what's it called now, who recruits for the companies in Nigeria alone now, right? I have actually moved beyond that. I go as far as recruiting for different roles across EMEA region and APAC region, basically, right? So this is just what I do. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you so much. Welcome to today's episode. Before we get into it, can you put your camera in like landscape mode? Sorry. Like
Okay,
yeah, so that you can take up the full screen. Thank you.
okay. So what do you think now?
Yeah. Yes, this is perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you for indulging me. Okay, so can you give me a brief, very, very brief background on how you get into recruiting for technical and non-technical workplaces?
Okay. So how it started is I think for every HR person there's usually the basics. There's usually something that is powering what you are really looking at. Or let me put it this way. Before anybody get into a career, there's something they are looking at, right? So for me, something lured me into HR before then talking about recruitment, right? I am a people's person. I think I like to want to see the best out of people. I think I am
Mm.
empathetic. I think that's the best way to put it. And that is why they usually say one of the best attributes that you should ever expect from an HR professional should be empathy. And empathy is not learned anywhere. You don't learn it, right? So for me, I think I saw all of that. And then a friend actually, I mean, just in my school days, my college, a friend just talked about, hey, why don't you consider HR and all of that? And then I started reading things around it, and then I think I fell in love. And I started taking courses, right? So I entered into HR. Now, HR is a lot, it's broad, all right? There's recruitment part of things, there's performance management, there is learning and development, there is what was it called? There is HR communication, HR reporting, and all of that. People specialize in all of this. So for me, why did I choose recruitment as one of the things in HR? That's because, like I said, I think I just want to see people happy. I just want to see people get jobs that make them happy. I want people to live in their dreams, right? So I actually catch forward when I find out that people are happy. I mean, I am happy when people are happy, right? Not even in this kind of world where you know people are looking for a job, people are in between jobs and all of that. So that's more or less like a motivation. I mean, something that pushed me to say, okay, I think recruitment is that thing for me. And in fact, before I specialized in recruitment, there was this other thing I was considering. I think that one is not needed for this
No,
what was it, episode. But okay,
go.
I can say okay, cool. So that is more or less like a generalist kind of thing, right? I was considering maybe specializing in, I mean, speaking to that closer side of business. I mean, they call that HR business partner, right? I know an HR business partner would always sit down with, I mean, directors, stakeholders within the organization discussing the business. And that is why sometimes they don't even call those ones HR because they are more or less like business process owners. They are more or less like, business analysts and all of that. But there's a side of HR. Yeah. So I was usually thinking about that. But I thought, well, let people that will stay within that stay there. I think this is where I want to stay because I actually find like it's also strategic. I mean, it is very strategic. I am like the gatekeeper. You know what I mean? To every organization. I am the one who holds the gate. I describe recruiters as people who hold the gate for people to enter. So meaning nobody enters if you don't open the gate. And you have to do a lot of job before you allow people to enter into your company. So who do you then hold as that first person? I mean, in HR, that's the recruiter you get. So what lures me into it? I mean, I just want to see people happy and all of that. So that's
Thank you so much. Like that. You're really the gatekeeper.
it.
Anyway, I know you hire for both technical organization and non-technical organization. Is there a difference in the kind of candidates company looks when they're hiring for like technical people and non-technical people? Is there a difference?
Yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference. So let me put it this way. I think, okay, this is what it is. When you talk about technical, people are thinking about, there's a lot of things around talking about, technicality, right? Technical people, there's a sense of you thinking, oh, maybe they are the software people, they are the IT people and all of that. And technical people, in another sense, some persons actually see them as, okay, for instance, I am in an accounting firm. So who are the technical people in an accounting firm? They are the accounting people, right? So people could actually see it that way. Or probably I'm in an engineering firm. Who are the technical people there? They are the engineers, right? Now, the technical and non-technical here in is I am actually referring to the technical as both the software people, the coders, right? And the people that are technical to your company. Like the way I said, working in an engineering company and then you are recruiting for an engineer, working in a construction company, you are recruiting for construction engineers and all of that, right? So that is for the technical side, right? Now, the non-technical is this. If I am in an accounting firm, if I'm recruiting for any role that is different from accounting or accountants rather, or that is not within the accounting line, I call that non-technical, right? So, like I said, it just depends on how you see it. Technical and non-technical is talking about if your firm, has a particular niche, right? The people you are recruiting for them for would be people within that niche, right? If you are recruiting for people that are not within that niche, I mean, the technical people you are recruiting there will be people within that niche. But if you are not recruiting for people within that, what's it called? Within that niche, they are non-technical, right? And the objective way of also seeing technical and non-technical is technical are the coders, while non-technicals are the non-coders, right? Yeah. So that's
Thank you. You. Okay, so the big question. Do
yeah.
you think everybody is meant for tech? Should everybody dive into tech?
Mm. Mhm. So that's the big question, like really. Should everybody delve into tech? No, yes. Okay, let's start this way. Okay, tech career, there was it, as it were. I think a layman way of putting it is to say tech career is just you going within the path where you are able to use, I mean, computer. I'm just trying to build it where you are able to use computer, where you are able to use what they call AI, where you are able to use something that has been converted from the knowledge of science. You remember when in school now, there's science, there's technology. Technology is the application of science, or how did they put it, right?
Yeah.
So, um, so, so you might want to think around: Am I using a computer? Do Would my work involve using probably a laptop? Would my work really revolve around using technology? Would my work really revolve around using not using technology? Before we then talk about, you know, is it really meant for everybody? So this is what it is. Is it really meant for everybody? If I have defined, career, I mean, tech career in that way, is it really meant for everybody? So I'm going to say yes, first off, right? And that is because in this new age, we have gotten to the computer age. And I even think we have moved ahead computer age. There is the Gen Z age. I think there is another generation after Gen Z. They call them, is it generation Alpha? Is it Alpha? Is it
Yeah.
Alpha? Am I right? Yeah, cool. So the Alpha generation is now, I think, is much more exposed than the computer generation, right? So because it's more or less like these people are very fast. Before you talk one thing, they already know, and that's why we have AI that can supply, that has the algorithm of everything. I mean, everything all combined. Before you say one thing, imagine you are using Chat GPT and then you type um i am I am not good or something, and then you put GOO, you didn't put the D, he's going to complete it for you. There are a lot of things that are very fast in this age. So if you are not then probably knowing how to use the list of technology, then you might be missing out on a lot of things. Right now, this is where we are going. We are talking about employability. We are talking about employees. We are not just talking about people out there. Is everybody meant for tech career? Can everybody dive into it? Not everybody can dive into it. Can everybody use tech? Yes, everybody can use tech, but not everybody can dive into it. If you want to dive into it, there are some sort of questions you might really want to ask yourself, right? You might really want to ask yourself, am I really in for this thing? How long will it take me? What sort of skills do I have? Right? I think these are the basic questions you might really want to be asking yourself. Am I patient enough? Am I probably a fast learner? What about if I begin and then I'm beginning to see some sort of probably roadblocks? Am I able to surmount? Am I patient enough to really want to do all of this? I even still remember when we were in secondary school. There are people that don't know mathematics, and there are people that know mathematics. There are people that when they hear of mathematics, they are always running away and all of that. And that's even a way to start, right? And they will say people who know mathematics are the most smartest of all and all of that. There are different. So you then begin to look at what are the things you then begin to look inward. What are the things that I have from the things I don't have, right? And for tech, I think you really need some high level of what's it called? Your IQ really needs to be high to be able to dive into that, right? That was why I said, that's why I'm using the determinant. I'm using two determinant. I'm using either yes or no or something. But I'm starting with for this contest, I'm starting with no. Not everybody can dive into that because you need to look inward. You need to consider a lot of things, and I'm talking about skills. Um, I remember I had a conversation with somebody. Can you hear me? I have a conversation with somebody who then mentioned to me to say, "What about if I am I am just at the back office, right? I'm collecting. I just welcome people, and then I tell them sit here. I tell the other person to go to the other side. Am I doing tech or something?" Ah, and the person was like, I think I want to get into tech, but anytime I'm doing all of this, I think I enjoy doing it. Now I'm trying to paint all of this so that you could get. I think I enjoy doing this, but am I really doing tech? I think I want to go into tech, but I enjoy sitting down, welcoming people, and all of that. Right now, going back to the questions that I asked, looking inward, someone of such is not worthy. You know why? Because the question of where you want to see yourself in the next years to come, the question of what do you find doing, I mean, what is that thing that you do that you're happy doing, is around the inward place. I mean, you just looking inward, basically. What do you have? If you just enjoy staying laid back, not doing anything that's it, where just attending to people, sit down here, say you can't find a vision. I mean, doing tech, as it were, right? So if you are then saying, oh, maybe okay, I should try tech. Someone of such is going to gas out at the end of the day. Someone of such is going to be like, it's going to be those kind of persons that you tell, hey, come, I want to teach you mathematics, and then they get there, they are sleeping, as it were. So in that sense, it is not something that you might want to say you just want to try, right? Now, the skills that are needed to say you want to go into tech, right? What are those skills? You might want to look at, am I that person that is good with calculations in my air? Am I that person that is good with probably analysis? Am I that type of person that is good with what do you call it? That is good with thinking. I mean, do you find joy just having a lot of thoughts inside of you? Like they say, the mind is the seat of, how do they say, is it intelligence, or intelligence sits in your mind or something? Are you that person that is usually thoughtful around things? Are you that innovative, right? Maybe you might want to consider that kind of space, but that space will not be good for you if you're not that kind of person. Am I trying to say my space is not a tech space? No. Am I trying to say if you're not that person that has those skills that thrive around tech, then you should come to my space? No, because I'm doing tech even in my space, right? I'm doing analytics, I am doing projections, and all of these are done scientifically, right? All of these have processes, they have systems that have been built, basically. So the big question around is everybody meant to follow suit around tech career? No, not everybody. I can also tell you there was this age when I think maybe 3 4 years ago, I think tech was very high. Everybody was delving into tech. But at some point, I think it became normal because almost everybody started doing tech. And then if you have some tech guys, they will tell you there's no money there. And if you are the type that what is luring you to want to do tech is money, I think you might be missing out of it. Because there are a lot of persons that as at that time, because they saw tech guys um with the way they mention their rate and all of that, they see it as there's a lot of money, this thing is profitable. They got into it and then they found out that they could not continue, they could not do it. And that is why you will still have to go back to looking inward, basically. So is it meant for everybody? No. Who are those that this kind of thing is meant for? They are the people that are ready for rigor. They are the people that are ready to be innovative. They are the people that are ready to actually, want to go out there and make a difference as it were, basically. So I think at this point, what I'm gonna be saying, I think just to end this, I know you will still want to ask for that question around it. Just to end this would be, it is not everybody that is meant for tech, but some persons could be meant, some persons might want to go that way, and they are the people that are ready for what it takes to actually stay with it, to stay within that space. It is not about how you get into it, it is about how you actually continue in it. Not every role is, what was it called? Not every role is not every role that requires you really thinking rigorously, as it were,
Yeah.
right? There are roles that are routine, right? There are roles that you just keep doing you just keep doing what you keep doing. And there are roles that actually will drive you, right? So if you know you are ready for that, then get into it, as it were. Yeah. So that's it.
Thank you very much. I like that. I like that. I guess everybody needs to do soul searching before you decide if you want to be a technical person or not. Can I ask you, what is one thing that makes you instantly reject a candidate?
Oh, okay. Instantly. Oh, okay. So there are a lot of things to it. Okay, for instance, I'm not using ATS, that's applicant tracking what's it called, system. Yeah. For instance, if I'm not using ATS, because what does ATS do for me? It helps me to filter CVs in short lists. For example, I'm looking at somebody who has probably first class alone. I've already set my queries. I've already prompted the machine to give me this. Now it limits it down to that. Now, beyond that, let's say I want to do it manually. I just want to look at your CV. First off, right, there are things that I consider. Now, let's say I even get to the place of interviewing you. Let's talk about interview. Let's leave the place of shortlisting CV. I'm looking at you not by your CV alone when I'm engaging you. I'm looking at you not from a biased state, not from how you look. I'm looking at you from how we engage, how you talk to me. Now, when I find out that what you are saying is not in alignment with what I have profiled you to be, then I take you out. And that could come with a lot of things, right? It could come with, I'm saying, I'm observing that there is no sort of, relation with what you have in your CV that you have claimed to have done from what you are saying. I'm not seeing some sort of coherence around it. Then you are off, right? I'm seeing that you have claimed to be certified in this area, and you by the way you speak, you are not speaking like somebody who is certified, because I want to believe that people that are certified are people who can speak from authority, right? I take you out, right? So beyond the CV, I'm seeing how you are able to think. I'm seeing how you are able to respond to stimuli. Stimuli will be the questions that I ask you, basically. So these are the things I'm looking at. But before you get to interview stage, there are other things that we also look at. We look at CV alignment with what we are looking for. Do you meet, the requirement? We are looking for somebody who has finished from a particular school. Did you come from the list of the schools that we have at the back end? Did you come from any of those schools that we have on that list? Or we are looking at probably age bracket. Are you within this age bracket? These are the things that there are certain things that we look at, basically. So at the end of the day, it's more or less like um your CV versus you, right? Your CV judges you, and you, when we meet you, you also judge yourself as a way. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I like that. So aside your CV and maybe portfolio, depending on the job description, what else makes you go, yes, I'm going to hire this person, or let's go ahead with this person?
Apart from the CV, I think it's still, your thought process, right? And your thought process in alignment with what we're looking for, right? Are you thinking what we're looking for? Let me tell you, we have soft skills and we have technical skills. Technical skills, they say, is what first off gets you to the interview point, or that is what we are so much, is it, we are much more overwhelmed by, your technical fit and all of that. But do you know what will make what will make us to give you the job? Is not just the technical fit. We are also looking at that soft side, because that soft skill is what could also make us look the culture fit way, right? They say the technical side could be taught, could be impacted, but the soft side cannot be impacted. If you don't have good character, you don't have good character. No matter the years, no matter the years it takes us to want to say, hey, do, you don't have, right? And how they also say it is, are you Holy Spirit? Are you the Holy Spirit? If somebody doesn't have good character, you're saying you will change the person. No, the same thing it is when we are trying to bring in, when we're trying to look at talents to bring into the company. We are looking at the technical side, which is the primary thing. Then much more than that, we are looking at how do you communicate. We are looking at, are you the such that can learn very fast, right? We are looking at, are you the such that is adaptable, right? And that adaptability talks about how you are able to manage the differences in culture, right? You have a company you are coming from, and you are coming to another company. Now they are both different in terms of culture. There is no company that is quite same in terms of how they do things, basically. So we're looking at your adaptability side. We're looking at different things just to get you in. So beyond your CV, we'll consider your soft skills, right? And we consider your technical skills. But there is some now, another thing that I think I have not said is it also depends on the role we're trying to recruit for. If the role is not really doesn't really care about your soft skills, then cool. There are some roles that are not, we are not really interested in whether you speak well or you don't speak well, because you are always on the system. You don't speak with anybody. So we might not really be interested in probably do you speak or you don't speak well. We just get you there, just be pressing laptop, and that's good. And we have people like that, basically. So beyond your CV, there are different things we consider. We'll consider both your soft skills and your technical skills. We could even give more credit to probably soft skills. And there are some that it is the soft skills that we are looking at. For instance, entry roles. Entry roles might not be because you do not really have any technical knowledge as a way. We just need you to be adaptable. We need you to be resilient. We need you to have good communication. We need you to be open to learning, right? If we are able to see all of those things, then you have a job. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, what mistake do you think job applicants make really often? What mistake do you see is reoccurring in your job field?
Okay. Uh, okay. So I think it's in terms of should I call it mistake or is it a mistake or something intentional? For instance, I'm recruiting for this is what I'm trying to say. I'm recruiting for a project manager and I'm seeing somebody who is a customer service representative applying. And that was what I'm saying. Is it a mistake or something? I'm just kind of trying to start from that. Yeah. S- So happy can kind of think, okay, I can get this job. I think they are too ambitious, and it's cool, right? Or they are too. Is it too hopeful or too positive? As it were, or I can do anything through the one who strengthens me. So I can get the project manager job, even if I don't have the experience, even if I haven't done anything around that before, right? So they make a mistake, and I don't know if I want to call that mistake or they are being they make a mistake around thinking they can do a job or they can submit for a role that they don't have on their CV or that don't have any experience around. That's one of the mistakes they make. Now, another mistake is in terms of how you show up. How do you show up? I've learned this in different companies that I've worked with. I've worked with a company that is very big on your appearance. I mean, you have to show up really big. I've worked with a company where, as a lady, you must always be wearing makeup. So I'm just telling you, yeah, you must always wear makeup. So if you are showing up in an interview, that kind of company, what do? You should really look good. I mean, wear that makeup. I'm not going to mention companies, but I know some companies where the CEO want to see you look, I mean, very expensive and all of that. I mean, you have to look good, right? There are some sort of rules that even permit you to, you should know you should really look good as a salesperson. I mean, salesperson is always pitching up around, as a business development manager is always pitching up around to clients, to prospect and all of that. How do you, so candidates who would actually apply for roles like that, they make mistakes around. You show up in interview and then you are not really showing good, right? So, and another thing they even say is sometimes you have biases as recruiters. The way you show up, we already judge you from the way you show up, right? If you don't show up nice, you might not really, make it within that recruitment process, as it were, right? So they make mistake around that. There is another mistake they also make, and that mistake is around um what was it called? Them kind of asking some questions that you're not supposed to ask. For instance, I give you a phone call. I mean, just at phone screening stage, and I just want to get some bit of information. You're already talking about salary. You're talking about those things are some sort of things that are not needed. There's no crime in having a conversation with somebody. In fact, that's the point where you are supposed to quite just seize the opportunity. For a business owner is looking for clients to come into the business. When clients call you, you are not just talking about the money straight up. Probably they just want to hear more about what you do. Probably somebody has referred them to you. So you might necessarily not be talking about the money. You just want to probably understand the client more at that stage. So they also make mistake around, what you are supposed to leave as the last question. You bring it up at the first place. It's also not a crime, but we as recruiters will do a good job by just filing you out because we feel when this person comes in, the person is just gonna be about the money. So yeah, that's it.
Do a good job by just filing you out. How is that a good job? Thank you
It's a
so
good
much.
job for us. Yeah.
So do you look at certificates first or skill first?
It also depends, right, on the role. There are some okay, let me put
Technical roles. Let's say data analytics. Do you look at certificates or the skill?
for data analysts, it is the skill actually. And I will still come back to say it depends. I am, if it were to be my company, right? I'm probably, it's already on the policy of my company to say you don't look at the certificates. I can really come to tell you to say no, it is not certificate, it's the skills. But there are some companies that have different policies where they say, no, 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 you have to consider the certificate and the skill, or you have to consider the skill. But if I will say objectively, for a data analyst, I think what we want to see is how much you are able to show workings, right? What
That's
are
how
those? What are
audio quality is quite bad. There's a muffled noise.
is it from my side?
Oh,
Yeah, are we back now?
yes, we are. Go on.
Okay, so I was trying to say, is it certificate or the skills? So first off, I would want to say it depends on the company. I'm trying to come over. I'm just trying to come again. I've said that before. I was trying to say is it depends on what the company is looking at. I mean, the company that I'm trying to recruit for. It depends on what they are looking at. If the policy already says that, I mean, the policy set out before we then launch out that job role or that job vacancy. If it says you look at the skills, then we go for the skills. If it says you look at the both, we go for the both. Objectively, for a data analyst, it is about showing results, right? We want to see the lot of things that you've been able to do. We want to see how much you are able to use different, what's it called? Different, is it platform now? Is it, we want to know the different tools you are very familiar with. At that point, we are not necessarily interested in certificate because certificate will not teach you the practicals here, right? So we are not interested in the theory. So as a data analyst, we are interested in how much of data, how much of database have you been able to probably set out some systems for? Have you been able to build things over? How much of queries, how much of initiate, how much of recommendations have you made from the analytics that you have done with the data that you are given? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it is naturally not, I'm speaking objectively now, apart from what employers want, apart from the policies they set out, objectively, as a data analyst, we're looking at skills, not certificate. So if I have the opportunity to actually talk to employers who come to me to say, no, we want to recruit a data analyst, and then what do you think we should consider? Should we consider certificates or consider a skill, or should we consider the both? For me, I wouldn't even say consider the both. I would say consider the skills basically because it's about showing workings, right? And I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so rapid fire, right? I'm going to answer yes, either this or that. Do you prefer certificates or skills? Yes or no? Pick one.
For a data analyst or for
Yeah.
every role,
No, for a data analyst specifically.
skills, please.
Okay. Do you prefer portfolios or CV for general roles?
General roles, not all roles require portfolios. Yeah, not all roles.
Okay, for
Yeah.
roles portfolios, which ones would you go for?
Is it
I mean,
portfolio? Hmm,
one, would you prefer they submitted their portfolios or their resumes?
Okay, portfolios, please.
Can you touch on that a little bit? Why?
Okay, so portfolio shows things you have done.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I can resonate more with your portfolio than your CV, right? CV is too theoretical, right? I'm just saying, I have done this, I activated this, I carried out this, that, I did all of this. Yeah, there are spots where you also indicate your achievement. I know on CVs, but it isn't giving me that thing that I can resonate with. But somebody who submitted a portfolio, I'm able to see probably the project that you led, probably with pictures that you're also able to show on them with analytics that you're able to do. You don't show that on CVs,
True.
right? And that was why I also mentioned that it is not every role that might require. There are roles that just require your theories first off before we engage you. Yeah, not necessarily things you have done, as it were, right? For instance, as a recruiter, I don't think it's portfolio. Yeah, maybe it's on but as a recruiter, I might not necessarily have the total numbers of CVs that I've been able to show for a role. I might not have it somewhere to show to you, right? It is at my back end. But somebody like me, you might require me to write some theories around, okay, I've done this, I've done this. By the time you engage me, you get to hear about that, right? I might not be able to show you because for recruiters, I don't know, maybe I'm permitted to say, we sell CVs. We sell CVs. So we don't even want you to know the kind of CVs that we have sometimes. Oh, that's strange, right?
You know, why are you selling CVs?
Because that's our business. Yeah, so it's like I would say, I think not for every role, not every role requires showing portfolio, but if I was to choose between portfolio and CV, um, in every way, I would choose portfolio because of those things I've mentioned.
Okay. Thank you so much. We've taken a lot of your time already. Before you go, can you give what are the top 5 things you look for in a candidate? In like
Okay.
general for a job, what are the top 5 things you look out for? In the technical aspects, let's bring back technical aspects. What are the top 5 things you look for? Top 5 qualities, top 5 skills, top 5 whatever.
Okay. For technical roles, I'm looking at what's it called? I'm looking at is it your fast-paced spirit? I'm looking at that fast-paced spirit, right?
Okay,
I'm
one.
looking at yeah, that's one. I'm looking at communication, right?
Two.
Because at least you should be able to communicate what you've been able to do or what you can do. If you are not able to communicate it, then why are you there, right? But I think I also made reference to somebody who sit at the back end. At least somebody that we're able to employ, and then we happen to find out that this person is better to sit at the back end. We also could actually find out that this person can communicate what he does at least too. And next, that's why we're able to say, okay, this person, I think we will employ you and then we'll have you sit at the back end. So communication is key. We're also looking at your ability to use tools. I mean, the tools for your job. Yeah, your ability
So
to use
tech.
the tools. Yeah, your ability to use the tools for your job. We're also looking at um is this should I call it stakeholder management or interrelation? Are you there to hear me?
uh, Not everybody manage stakeholders.
I didn't get that. Not everybody does what?
Can you? Not
Yeah,
everybody manage stakeholders.
not everybody. Okay, stakeholder in this sense is not talking about. Okay, let me put it this way: stakeholders are people that have one or two things to contribute, right, to the job you are doing. They are necessarily not probably investors outside. And can you hear me? There are one or two. So my colleague could be a stakeholder, right? My line manager could be a stakeholder. Even clients, right, could be a stakeholder in that sense. My MD could be a stakeholder. Understand what I'm trying to say? So stakeholder, that's why I said stakeholder management or interrelationship skills, right? Interrelationship, we're talking about how do you relate with this person, how do you relate with the other person, how do you, right? Some persons don't know how to relate. And that is why we also
Mm.
tend to ask questions around do you enjoy working alone or you enjoy working they say working independently or working with a team? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it is not a crime if you like it working independently, but if the job requires that you are not the person who should be working independently, you should be working with it, then we also profile you around that. Do you get so ability to manage stakeholders or interrelationship skills, right? That is also these are the top things. I have many of them. Yeah, I've mentioned about four now or five.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last one, adaptability.
Okay.
Very, very key. Very, very key.
Yeah.
Adaptability.
I like that. Thank you very much. So before you go, I know I've said before you go a couple of times now, but before you go, for somebody who is looking to dabble into the technical field, right? Say they want to learn data analytics or AI engineering, what 5 things would you say they should have in order to get hired, in order to be ready to get a job immediately they're done learning? What five skills would you say they should have?
Okay, so let me summarize it first off. Just be good, right? Just be good. I mean, just be good. We have the main technical roles, and then we have the hybrid technical roles. Data being a analyst makes you an hybrid person within that space because you are not using tech like the way the tech people use it. It is not all the time you are coding as a data analyst, right? But for the ones who are the tech, I know you understand the tech we're talking about in this sense now. For the ones who are the tech, right? The what was it called? You might want to how do we put it now? You might want to say for the ones who are really in the tech space, you might want to say is it I'm trying to think of the word now. You might want to say probably they require I think I put it the other I put it I said it the other time. They require a high level of IQ or something now. No, I think I wouldn't even want to say it that way, right? But to be able to function within that space, you just need to be good. Now let me break it down to the skills you mentioned. You need to be fast paced, that's one. You must be able to learn very fast. That's one. You must be patient. Should I call it resilience? Not giving up.
Yeah.
A lot of persons give up within that space too, right? They think what has taken some persons 10 years or 5 years to learn and become the big boys within that field. They think by the time they get there within 5 months, they're going to get it. But no, you can't, right? You need resilience. I think that's the word. You also need um, networking. I think you really need to be networking, right? To really, that is why in the tech field they usually have what do they call it? Is it they usually have symposiums, everywhere, conferences, tech conferences as it were, just
Mhm.
for people who are still crude within the phase, so that they can catch up, and even the ones who are already, very, very sharp in this way, so that they can also link up and rub minds and all of that, right? That is also needed. Very,
Mhm.
very like network. Another one is I think you need to be. This one is not part of it, though, but I am the one adding this. You need to be humble. You know the way they say, "Hey guys are not humble. They just show up and they are always." Hmm, hmm. No, I have met a lot of tech guys that are very humble. I mean, because they know where their own kind of knowledge, where it ends, is where you know another person's knowledge is beginning from. And this thing, there's no end to it. People are just very good. And it is broad, right? It is very, very broad. That's why we have specialists within that field. That's why we have the Scrum Masters. Even Scrum Masters are just hybrid tech people. They are not the real core tech people. We have the product managers who are also hybrid tech people. And then we have the core tech people who are also specially, we have the software engineer, we have the back end, we have the front end, we have the full stack, we have the cyber security people. IT is also there, right? IT support the network people and all of that. So there is a lot to it. So within your space, just be humble. So I'm adding that. I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay, that's this episode. Thank you so much, Mr. Allen. I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. To everybody watching, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe. Also, remember that we're running a 90% scholarship for women tech. So if you want to learn any technical skill, this is the best time to hop on it. With 100K, you can learn any technical skill you want, as long as it's not AI engineering. That's 150K. Thank you so much, Mr. Sampson. Thank you. It was really nice talking to you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.